care about it. And we had, and also in particular because my event was an environmental event, you had to be really transparent, you had to be like really on top of your game, because everyone's looking for an excuse to hate something you've done or complain about something. So the less chance you give them for that, the better, you know. And so like we were talking about before, the venue is really good for public transport. That's your first thing. Make sure that's okay. Put really, really clear directions online, like a link to a Google map for directions. I had someone call up on the day of the event who was trying to get her daughter to go to the event, and she wasn't sure what bus to put her in. I said, oh, if you'd like to look on our website in the transport, getting there on the transport section, and I said it's got the bus names and everything there from whatever direction you're coming. So things like that, you know, that was really helpful to her. For me, and for a lot of, for maybe half of the environmentalists, maybe not even that much, we do agree that veganism is the best thing you can do to help the planet. So at a very, very basic level, if you're holding an environmental festival, you can't be selling any animal flesh or animal products at your event. Also for me, that was including choose cruelty-free products, so things like your bunny symbol here. And so no products would have been tested on animals as well. That can also, nowadays, you know, the palm oil issue. So it's whatever you think is the right thing to do, and there's a lot of vegan products that do have palm oil in it as well. So I think you need to work that out amongst your volunteers or something if that's something you want to stick with. All the signage we use, we salvaged from places. We had, we call it core flips. I can't remember what you call it over here. The signage when someone's elected for like local member or something, like corrugated plastic, I think you call it. And we had a heap of those, so we just painted over them and decorated signs. We discouraged the use for people to hand out flyers, and we just said if you, like, even just putting up a little slideshow or something on their computer, but we also did have a central table for leaflets if people did want to leave leaflets there. It's really good to graph like the power and the generators you need to use and how much energy you're actually using. The second event we had this bicycle powered smoothie, it's called smoothie cycle, so you could go on the bicycle and make a smoothie, and everyone loved that. And you can actually hire these massive, like I think it's 6 to 10 bikes, and you hire them from this company, and that can actually power your event, and you can get people to get on there and cycle along, and that's really good. Get the volunteers involved, and people love those sort of things as well, so it's always cool. With our water supply, we actually had a water sponsor, and they gave all of our volunteers a water bottle, plastic water bottle each, which got refilled throughout the day, and we had recycling plants set up and everything as well. And they also encouraged people to buy the stainless steel ones, and they had a filtered water that everyone could just refill all throughout the day. We had no soft drinks in cans, no plastic, and no styrofoam as well. And the soft drinks thing, I'm really anti like big corporations and things like that. This is meant to be a grassroots community event. I don't want people buying Coca-Cola and horrible things like that can just get down the street. We encouraged people to use biodegradable plates and utensils, and we actually had links to these places as well. So it's all well and good to say, we want you to do this, this and this, but if you can't give them an alternative or a place they can actually go to buy, then there's probably going to be less people that will actually pay attention to that. And like I said, we had these bins on site that were like recycle or waste bins, and we had proper signage that we had done, and we said what goes into that as well. So say, for example, some people get to a bin and they're like, oh my God, is this recyclable or is it not? I'm not sure, I'm really confused. So we had little signs like saying, these are the exact things that go into this bin, these are the things that go into that bin. And we also had people picking up rubbish throughout the day and just making sure that we didn't leave anything Another point of contention for a few people is balloons, because a lot of people want to decorate their store, make it look pretty, but it's really, really bad for the environment and for animal friends. There are some balloons I have heard about that do degrade, but I think they're quite expensive from back home anyway. And we encourage waste minimisation as much as we could. And we had, like those facts I was saying before, we had a lot of environmental and vegan facts. So there was a lot of reasons why we were doing these things throughout the day. All the posters and the postcards and things that we sent out or were displayed, they were all from an eco printer, so it was 100% recycled paper, and we didn't use any gloss or anything like that. We also had downloadable maps and schedules online. We didn't give out any schedules, we just had them printed in one spot. We had one major area that had all the schedules, and then we had each area, just like on the back of the kitchen door, some of them were written like the schedule. And I think all those things are really important, especially going forward. And then I think I might talk about grants, budgets, and covering costs. So to put on an event, like we've heard this weekend, sorry?
Before you move on, when you said that you had a thing about like explaining the vegan, like why we're doing what we're doing, how did you have that?
So there was signs up everywhere. So we had like either those core flutes, or we had like someone had just redid their kitchen. So we had all these benches and doors and everything. We just like wrote facts on them. So say, for example, I drew a tree on one and we listed a few environmental facts on that, or people wrote quotes from environmental people, just like just really sort of more educational tools that people can just read themselves. It's not sort of in their face, and they were all really bright and colourful, and it was done from all recycled stuff as well.
And those were just scattered throughout the
event? Just scattered. So I'm talking, this is a massive park, and we had all these different areas, and so it wasn't just like, oh, you're all contained in this square. It was like, you know, you had the video zone here, kids zone here, the stage there, like you could zigzag in and out. The kids zone was in a different area actually as well, so that closed at 4, and then everything else still continued till 8. So throughout that whole area, we had all the signs placed. In particular areas we wanted people to sort of go to as well, say like the speaker's tent.
Okay.
So that's what we did with that. Did anyone else have any questions about that?
Oh, it was about something else. I was wondering when you decided to use the term plant-based, was that because people have like quite negative associations with veganism?
I do think people do in general, yes, but because this was an environmentally focused group, like, yeah, we promote veganism through the whole thing, but for the mainstream, who is my target audience, they are more receptive to the term plant-based than they are to the term vegan or even vegetarian. And so that's what we said. But then everything on our information packs, it was things have to be vegan. Vegan means rah, 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 rah. For more information, see this. And that we even had vegan police on the day that went around and just made sure everyone had things that, you know, were vegan. Like we found there was some felt there, and someone found Coke, and there was something else. Oh, bone char in just like a orangutan organisation. They were just selling cups to raise money, and there's bone char in it. They didn't know, we didn't know, like no one knew. But just little things like that people aren't necessarily aware of. Yeah.
So, did you, with your vegan police, did you inspect the guests as well as the vendors?
The guests, no, it was just
because I was just thinking that might be kind of a cool thing to be able to point out to someone. Did you know that this happened in the processing and blah, blah, blah.
No, we didn't. No, the people that were chosen for vegan police were for a reason, because they're quite intense, and I don't think I would have encouraged them to have too much interaction with the public. So they literally are vegan police in their life. So I knew that their skills, they use their skills to, and they're a part of it. But For
That's a great
them,
idea though, for the vendors, isn't it, ahead of time?
and the